Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a My Thoughts video of Mass Effect 3. I finished both playthroughs of Mass Effect 3, one being Renegade playthrough and one being the Paragon playthrough. And after finishing both and playing some of the multiplayer, I now have a basic consensus of what this game has to offer. So, in the purpose of this video is for me to tell you my opinions and thoughts on Mass Effect 3 and giving it my personal score for it. So, without more delay, let's get started. First, I will tell you the basic of basic from the Mass Effect 3 storyline. The storyline of Mass Effect 3 revolves around this main character who you make during the beginning of the game and whose name is Commander Shepard. He or she will have in the past two games has found out that there is a sentient machine race called the Reapers who are about to come to Earth and this galaxy and wipe out all organic life forms. And you are the only one that believes, well, you are the only one that has seen this from happening, and very few people believe you. So after two games, the Reapers have finally made it to Earth. Okay, they have finally made it to your galaxy in force. There's hundreds and thousands of Reapers, these giant machines that have appeared and is now wiping out the galaxy. So at the beginning of the game, you witness the destruction of what seems to be New York City, and then you get a mission from your commanding officer to go and gather up the galaxy's forces, all the races that is in this galaxy, and combine them to help you face the Reapers and fight them back. So that is the basic storyline of Mass Effect 3. The gameplay of Mass Effect 3 is a third-person shooter RPG style gameplay. A third-person shooter, as always, takes advantage of things like cover that you can get into, and your movement is based around cover, and that's where the combat mostly plays out. Where you're in cover most of the time, and you will be shooting enemies that are also in cover, and using your abilities to help you fight them. However, in Mass Effect 3, you get companions that are with you, two actually, that are with you at all times, but not specifically these two, but you get an allotted, I believe, six characters, minusing out the DLC character, if your past characters is alive. If your past characters from the previous games is gone, you only basically get three characters to choose from. Um, Actually four. You get four characters to choose from, which is quite disappointing for me, but we'll get into that a bit later. Now, these companions, you can give them orders by pressing the accordance button,
Understood.
and they will go to that location, take cover, and fight any enemies that comes their way. They also use their abilities against those enemies without you telling them to do so. However, it is still more effective, to actually give them specific commands so that they can do it. But the AI in Mass Effect 3 has improved, and they will mostly do all that themselves. So you can just focus on surviving, your main character surviving without having to worry about your two side character or AI partners here. And that's the basic gist of Mass Effect 3. So moving on to the graphics of Mass Effect 3. it has improved. As you can see from the background, there is actually an animated, more animated background. This map, sadly, is not a very good map to show you on how the background graphics has improved. But as you can see, there's a giant sandstorm outside, and it looks pretty amazing. And you can see buildings in the background, and at the very beginning of the game, where the Reapers are invading New York, I think, you see these giant walking machines that are just destroying Earth. And that scene is amazing to look at. Also, if Liara would get over here.
Of course.
Get over here. No, no, no. Stand up and get over here.
Understood.
No.
Right.
Stand up. Thank you. Okay. So, as you can see, her face is a lot more detailed than the previous games. And you can see that her armor is also more detailed than the previous games. So there is graphical improvements to this game, which just makes it looks even better, and it makes your character looks less plasticky, which is good. Moving on to the sound of this game, is for me basically it sounds the same as the previous two games, almost as if they just took the sound file from the previous two games and used it again. That is not a bad thing. As you can hear, the sound is pretty amazing. The impact from this shotgun is really, really powerful. The drawback of the shotgun is also really, really well done. It makes the shotgun feels really powerful. Same thing with most of your abilities, like that Nova ability, where you punch the ground and a shockwave appears. It sounds amazing. Okay, it sounds every ability that you have sounds impactful. It sounds like it actually does do some damage when it hits, and that's a good thing. Also, with the sound, I also found that not found really, but the sound for the voice actings within this game is so amazing. It's super. That's what I was trying to say. It's really spot on. Just like the previous two games, the voice acting in this game is amazing. There's not much I can say more to that. So, with all that said, what is my likes and dislikes for Mass Effect 3? Well, let's start with my likes. I like sound. The sound in this game for guns and abilities. I like the voice acting. I like the graphical improvements. I like the improved AI and improved combat to make it feel a lot more smoother to play. I also like the storyline of this game up until the ending. I also like the characters that you meet during the game that make cameo appearances that you've already met in the past two games. That's really good and a fun thing to see what turned out for them after you were gone for 6 months during Mass Effect 3, or in between Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. You were offline, you were basically not a commander, you were stripped of your title for 6 months due to certain circumstances. And now that you get to see all your characters return after 6 months and to see what happened to them is pretty cool. I also like the fact that, if you didn't notice already, the ammo in this game regenerates. So, say alright, I pick up those two ammo, and in a bit, they will respawn. Now, not everyone would like this feature, but my personal feelings, I really do like it. simply because instead of me having to worry about, oh my gosh, I'm gonna run out of ammo, like if I just see right there, they respawn. Like I'm gonna run out of ammo, instead of having that thought in my mind all the time, I don't have to worry about ammo per se anymore. Alright, I can just worry about the enemy that is coming at me instead of worrying, oh my gosh, I'm gonna run out of shots soon. So for me, that keeps me into the combat. It keeps me focused onto the enemy instead of focused on my weapon ammunition count. And that's for me really feels like an action-packed game simply because you don't have to micromanage a lot of things. So with all that said, what don't I like about Mass Effect 3? Now, there are three specific things I don't like about Mass Effect 3. One of them being the Day 1 DLC. Now, the reason I don't like this Day 1 DLC, because it's not really a DLC. I don't understand to why they did this, but I think all of you know by now that you can unlock this DLC character by adding one line of code on the PC version. So that tells me that the game or the DLC was already created and was taken out of the game and turned into a DLC. So very just disappointing, really. It's just very disappointing for me that they have decided to do this. To take out one character from the allotted 6 or 7 if you include the DLC characters. So you get 7 characters to play with, to be your partners, and they took out one of them from the very few already existing characters. Now I'm obviously comparing it to Mass Effect 2, where you get a total, including DLC characters, of 12 different characters. Now that is an amazing roster. This game, you get 5 characters less, and they decided to take one of them out and turn it into a DLC for $10. Yes, that for me is just bad business practice, and it really disappoints me that they did that. Another thing I don't like about Mass Effect 3 is its multiplayer. The multiplayer of this game is Horde mode. Now, if you don't understand what Horde mode is, it's basically you're in a map and you get a certain objective, either to survive or to go kill or to go gather data. Now, during these objectives, enemies will spawn, and these enemies are controlled by the AI, and they will just continually spawn until you finish that objective. Kill a certain amount of enemies, or kill these specific targets, or gather this data. So that's the basic gameplay of the multiplayer, and it gets really boring after an hour to 2 hours of gameplay, and you're gonna be like, why do I want to play this ever again? You know? So the multiplayer is very disappointing in that it gets really repetitive, it gets really boring really fast. I mean, is it that hard to put player versus player in this game? I don't think so. I don't see a really a hard thing to put team deathmatch of 4 versus 4, or capture the flag, or destroy HQ, or gather data while the other one attacks you and stop you from gathering data. There's so many possible opportunities that they could have done with a multiplayer. They could have even added cooperative multiplayer in that one person controls, say, Ashley over there, and one person controls Liara over there, and you control Shepard. And then you guys run around the campaign and, just fight together. It's not a really big, unique concept. It's been done before, so I don't get why they didn't think to do it in Mass Effect 3. So why bother including a boring ass multiplayer that is have no need whatsoever to the game? Another thing I don't like about Mass Effect 3 is its ending. Mass Effect 3 has 3 different endings. Now, the reason why I don't like about them is because they tells you the same, or not the same thing. They tell basically the same thing between the three endings. There's not major difference between each of them. They basically all condense into one particular thing, of which you already know the moment you buy this game, and after the first 15 minutes, you already know what's going to happen at the very end of the game. You will beat back the Reapers, right? You wouldn't think that you would, oh, the Reaper's going to take over and wipe out all organic life form. Done. No, no, when you buy this game and you found out that the Reaper is attacking you at the very beginning of the game, the first thing that should come to your mind is you win. Humanity wins. And that's exactly what the ending gave you. There is no twist, there is no turn, there is no further explanation. It is just a piss poor ending. And I don't understand why that is. Now, there there is, another thing that I really don't like, but this is my personal opinion, is that what happened to all the characters that you meet during the game? Like, they say, oh, we're gonna join you in this final battle, and we're gonna help you out, Commander Shepard. We are gonna help you fight back the Reapers. And after you talk to them once during the ending of the game through a hollow cam or hologram, that's it. You don't even see them again at all. Like until the very end. Not until the very end. That's just it. They're done. After talking to them that once, they are done. You will never see them again in this game. It is bad. It is sad. They didn't get, say, their 30 seconds of glory. Like what happened to, say, Jack? She's controlling a bunch of biotic teams to help you fight against the Reapers. Where's her scene of 30 seconds showing her doing that? Or, where is all these other people that is saying that they help you? What happened to them? I don't know. All these races that you found and gathered throughout the galaxy to help you fight, you don't see them. You don't see them in the final fight. They don't, noticeably help you in any way. So the Turians, the Krogans, the Solarians, the Asari, the, every single race, the Batarians, all the races that join together, that you don't see any of them that helps you during this final cutscene. You and your two AI partners is all you are going to see until the very end of the game, which baffles me to why they did that. So all of the thing that you did at the beginning to the end of the game does not matter. It doesn't matter. It feels as if the game just blows you off and says, oh, thank you for, filling up this meter that says you are now ready to go and fight the Reapers. But all the things that you worked so hard for to actually fill up all the meter all the way, gathering more extra races, gathering extra people to help you, they don't come into play at all, which sucks. So all the side quests that you did in this game doesn't matter. This game, it feels as if it was designed so that you only need to play through the main campaign, and that's all you get, and there's nothing going to different about the ending of the game or majorly different. So that's another thing that really disappoints me and really leaves a bad taste in my mouth after I beat this game twice and see that the endings doesn't differ from one another. So with all that said, what is my score for Mass Effect 3? Now, please do keep in mind this is my personal score. I can give the greatest game and every 100% of everyone else in this world likes it, except me, one, because it is my personal opinion. Okay? So, from my personal opinion, Mass Effect 3, for me, gets an 8.5 out of 10. And that score for me is a disappointing score for Mass Effect 3. I expected this game to be higher than a 9, at least a 9. But with the day 1 DLC, with the boring multiplayer, with the bad ending, the expected ending with no twists and turns, really, really detracts from the score from my score. And I really feel as if they just copped out at the very end there. And that's basically the main thing that made the score an 8.5 is the ending of this game really didn't satisfy me. It really didn't explain anything that I wanted it to. It just told me what I already knew, which is very disappointing. So that has been my thoughts on Mass Effect 3. I hope you found it informative. I hope you found it useful in deciding if you want to get Mass Effect 3 or not. And I thank you for watching. I thank you for listening. And I will see you in another My Thoughts video.